The score is Houston 20 and Notre Dame 12, so let's take a look at some of the highlights of first half action.
First quarter action with Houston with the football. Emmett King fumbles the football, and defensive end Jay Case, number 75, has it for Notre Dame. Then on a 3rd and 6, Montana back to pass. He hits his big tight end, Dean Mastic. First down inside the 5-yard line. Montana roll out right, puts Notre Dame on the board for the first touchdown, the extra point. The snap from center was mishandled. Notre Dame leads 6-0. Then on the ensuing kickoff, there's a fumble by the backup quarterback, and Notre Dame has the football. Moments later, Pete Buchanan, the freshman, bulls over from the 1-yard line. Extra point, they went for 2, no good, 12-0. Houston countered with a 15-yard touchdown pass by Danny Davis. Then Montana later on fumbles. David Hodge, the linebacker for Houston, gets it back, and Danny Davis goes to work. He hands off inside, big hole. Emmett King, and then Randy Love goes off the right side. Houston goes in front. Kenny Hatfield kicks both extra point. Houston leads 14-12. Montana moments later tries for the home run. Kenny Hatfield, an excellent interception. He returned 25 yards. He followed with the 25-yard field goal. Then just before the half, he added another field goal, and that's how it stands, 20-12 at halftime. First down, Houston. Lindsay, you can see they have completely controlled the football. 12 first downs to Notre Dame 6. 155 yards rushing, Lindsay, and there is the key to the ball game right there. Houston's veer has been able. They haven't really looked as good offensively as they've looked on certain occasions this year, but they are doing the job. 155 yards rushing, Notre Dame only 79. And the big key for Notre Dame, only 71 yards in the air throwing the football. Montana's had 3 or 4, maybe 5 passes dropped here in the first half.
So at halftime, it is Houston leading Notre Dame by a score of 20-12. And it's a cold day here in Houston, Texas. And how much effect that had on the ball game, Paul?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Lindsay. We watched a beautiful halftime show here at the Cotton Bowl, and I only hope that the football players can hold on to the football and not too many fumbles. As these little girls down here in shorts with the baton twirls, they didn't drop too many. I think they're really the stars of the show so far.
I saw that one baton twirler throw that thing up 50 feet in the air. It hurt me even to see it to start down on a cold day. Didn't seem to bother the Rangerettes at all. They got along just fine.
They sure did. But Notre Dame at halftime, I would imagine Dan Devine is a little bit hot. They haven't played too well. They got off, 2 touchdowns in front, 12-0, and then Houston stormed back. And I want to tell you something about this team. They've been, kind of like semi-outlaws down here in the Southwest. Just admitted to the Southwest Conference a couple of years ago. And this team is really, with the defeat of Notre Dame today, if they can hold on and win, I think Bill Yeomans figures his program is over the top. They have to be reckoned with as a national power.
Well, you wonder about teams whether they can play catch-up football or not. Notre Dame proved that they can play catch-up football because in their final game of the season against Southern Cal, they had to play catch-up, and they did.
They're going to have to, and of course the big key is in the third quarter, depending on who has the wind. Lindsay, it seems as if the team with the football, with the wind at their back, is going to put some points on the board. Notre Dame, with Montana throwing, must have that win.
I think we still have a lot of excitement coming. We've got another half of football. You know, talking as we were to Dickie Megill at halftime reminded me that 25 years ago today, I was in the telecast booth at Red Grange during the ball game. Dickie Megill was on the field, and the producer for CBS here today, Perry Smith, was in the truck producing 25 years ago.
Listen, you two people, you Perry Smith and Lindsey Nelson, this is Lindsey's 19th Cotton Bowl, and truly, if there was ever a voice of any bowl game, the voice of the Cotton Bowl belongs to you, Lindsey. I congratulate you on that. Just staying here for 19 years.
Well, I tell you, we've seen a lot of exciting moments. We were reminiscing, as you know, you and I and Wilbur Evans before today's ball game. Wilbur retired last year as the executive director after having been with the Southwest Conference and the Cotton Bowl for 17 years. We were talking about the great events that have transpired. Over the years, they've had most all the great football players and some great games in this series.
They sure have. And as Wilbur Evans was mentioning, the coldest day ever in the Cotton Bowl was what, back in 47? But I'll tell you one thing, Lindsey, I don't think it can get too much colder than this right here.
No, they had an ice storm move in night before last. It was the most severe ice storm in 30 years in this area. And of course, this is artificial turf. It wasn't covered. It wouldn't have helped if it had been, as a matter of fact. And then it turned up very cold today with a wind chill factor down there around sub-zero. They've had heaters along the sidelines. You see them there trying to stay as warm as they can, and Houston has got back onto the field. Notre Dame has not yet put in an appearance, and we expect them at any moment. The Irish should be back. Notre Dame appeared here in 1970. It was the first time the Irish had been to a bowl game in 45 years. They had appeared in the 1925 Rose Bowl and had not played on a postseason game until the 1970 Cotton Bowl game. And the Cotton Bowl officials here say that that was a game that really moved the Cotton Bowl up in overall national acceptance and prestige, because it was a great football game. The 1970 game, in which Texas won, and the 1971 game in which Notre Dame won.
Well, it looks as if we're going to be in for a very high-scoring football game, and if Notre Dame can get a touchdown on the board, Lindsey, this may well prove to be one of the most interesting of all Cotton Bowl games, because we already have 32 points on the board. And with this veer offense of Houston, as effective as it has been inside against Notre Dame's defense, I think we're going to see 3 or 4 more touchdowns on the board in the second half.
Well, the Fighting Irish are back now along the far sideline as the visiting team here. It is their 4th appearance. Notre Dame has appeared in this bowl more than they've appeared in any other bowl anywhere, leading some of the people here in Dallas to say this week that the Cotton Bowl was the first bowl, of course, to have the Southwest Conference champion, a conference champion, as the permanent host. They said they also have a permanent visiting team. It's Notre Dame.
So far. In fact, Notre Dame has won each of the nation's 5 biggest bowl games: the 25 Rose Bowl, 71 and 78 Cotton, 74 Sugar, and the 75 Orange Bowl. And Houston making its 2nd appearance, going for 2 for 2, not only with Bill Yeomans as head coach, but Danny Davis, the quarterback, who had an outstanding day against Maryland here 2 years ago.
Alabama has won in all the bowl games that Notre Dame has except the Gator Bowl. Alabama has never won in the Gator Bowl. They appeared there once and lost to Missouri. So now we're getting it set for the second half with Houston leading Notre Dame by a score of 20-12.
Notre Dame must shut down Houston's inside running game. Emmett King has 72 yards, Lindsey, and 10 carries. Randy Love, 59 yards and 13 carries, and they have done the biggest damage.
So now each team goes into its final huddle preparatory to the start of the second half, and for Notre Dame, they will receive as Waymer is dropping back there along with Stone. And Hatfield is teeing it up. Kenny Hatfield will kick it off for Coach Bill Yeomans, Houston Cougars. Houston is leading by a score of 20-12. This is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. The lights have been on since before the opening kickoff. Waymer retreats. He will not run it out. Touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line as Notre Dame takes over in Notre Dame territory. And Joe Montana, the senior from Monongahela, Pennsylvania, comes out to run the attack for the Irish. He's got Vegas Ferguson in there, along with Jerome Evans at the running backs as we start the second half. Tim Cagle just came into that huddle. Tim Cagle is the quarterback. It's not Montana. It is the sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, Tim Cagle, who is starting at quarterback for Notre Dame here in the second half. That's a surprise. Gave it to Evans, and he was stacked up. Loss of a yard back to the 19-yard line, which will make it 2nd down and 11 yards to go.
Tim Cagle was one of the most sought-after high school football players in the nation out of Cincinnati. Didn't see too much action this year. 4 out of 8 is his stats throwing the football. We're going to try to get a report on Montana. I don't think he was hurt.
There was no apparent injury to Montana, but it is a great surprise that Tim Cagle has come out here as the starting quarterback in the second half. Cagle with the pitch now to Vegas Ferguson, and Ferguson pulled down by the Cougar defense. It's a dogged defense, and it's at the 20-yard line. Evansberger, Grady Evansberger, the senior from Van Alstyne made the tackle. Third down and 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. Leonard Mitchell coming in defensively for Houston. Houlihan comes out to a wide left. Chris Haynes in a wide right for quarterback Tim Cagle.
It's a tough position, number one.
Let's see. Overthrows Haynes, incomplete. That'll bring on the punting unit for Notre Dame.
Well, we've got a report. Dan Devine, Montana is not hurt. He's just decided to go with Timmy Cagle.
It is surprising in that throughout his career, Joe Montana has been the come-from-behind quarterback for Notre Dame. He was the man who sparkled in the come-from-behind effort at Southern Cal. Bushka is in there to flanker. I beg your pardon, it's his punter. Bushka is in there to do the punting. You'll recall it, Restic was injured. So Bushka has it partially blocked. Up to the 33-yard line, there will be no run back, and it's rolling now across the 40 and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Houston with the ball in Notre Dame territory. Bushka the punter, as Joe Restic was injured in the first half.
They'll have the benefit of about a 20 to 25 mile an hour wind at Houston's back, blowing left or right on your screen. And they're thinking in the third quarter, Lindsey, they know they'll have to be facing the passing attack in the fourth quarter, so put a couple touchdowns on the board because Notre Dame has not been able to move, especially against the wind.
Danny Davis brings him up with Randy Love and Emmett King at the running backs for Houston. This is Emmett King, and he gets it inside the 40 and near the 37-yard line. A gain of about 4. Steve Heimkreider made the tackle. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go. We are in the third quarter here at the Cotton Bowl. The sun is trying to break through the overcast overhead. Davis keeps the ball. Gets it to the 35-yard line. Pete Johnson, middle linebacker, made the tackle. Golick was injured, you'll recall, in the first half. It is third down and 4 yards to go at the 35. 13 minutes, 13 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Willis Adams out to a wide left and Eric Herring to a wide right. Geritis is the tight end to the left side. Love. And he got very little. Steve Heimkreider was there. Jeff Weston made the tackle. Warm-up action along the Notre Dame sideline.
That's Tim Cagle trying to straight warm with that warm-up jacket on, loosening up his right arm.
Jay Wyatt comes in to do the punting now. Gibbons has dropped back along with Weimer, standing along the 10-yard line for Notre Dame. Tom Gibbons. And short, and there he comes. Wyatt off the side of his foot, aiming it down the sideline, and he gets a good roll, and it goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So Wyatt rolled it out at the Notre Dame 7, where the Irish will start first and 10, with Houston leading by a score of 20-10 here at the 43rd Annual Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas.
We're behind the Notre Dame bench. Joe Montana did not come out for the second half. The team physician has just told me he has the chills. His body temperature is below normal. They're giving him warm fluids, and he may be back before the end of the game. He said it's kind of like the start of the flu. So that's the story on Joe Montana, Lindsey.
All right, Frank, that's the explanation of why Tim Cagle is quarterbacking the Irish. They held the ball first and 10 at their own 7-yard line. Motion across. That's Houlihan. Vegas Ferguson. But David Hodge, the great linebacker for Houston, is there to close him off.
Houston's defense is just eating Notre Dame alive up front. They're just shutting down all the running attack and then forces Notre Dame into third and long or second and long. And this is a very tough position for Timmy Cagle. First of all, he's throwing against a 25-mile-an-hour wind. Hasn't seen too much action.
Second and 9 at the 8-yard line. Ferguson's carried 9 times for 17 yards. And again, the Houston defense is right there. Evans carried, and Hodge again made the tackle.
They must be hoping, Lindsey, that they can just play Houston to a standstill in the third quarter and just wait for the win. But that's a bad philosophy.
Third down and 8 yards to go at the 9-yard line.
They're going to have to throw more on first and second down, Lindsey. They're running the ball. They get 3 or 4 yards. They're forcing the third and long.
The running back split on third down. Evans carried. Got about a foot or so, and the punting unit's coming on for Notre Dame. It was Alton Harvey there on the tackle. He's from Grapeland, Texas. So Bushka again comes in to do the kicking. Dick Bushka. Lonnell Fee has dropped back to field it for Houston. Kicking into the wind, Fee takes it at the Notre Dame 40 and gets to the Notre Dame 38-yard line, where the Cougars will start first and 10. Jay Case made the tackle. So the Cougars get it again. That was a 32-yard punt by Dick Bushka. Houston is leading 20-12. First down and 10 yards to go now for Houston. They held the ball at the Notre Dame 38-yard line. We have 10 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the third quarter, and Houston's leading by a score of 20-12. This is artificial turf here at the Cotton Bowl, and this time next year they will have new artificial turf and a new press box installed here at the Cotton Bowl. Adams is far to the left side. Davis with a pitch. King is coming back, drops the ball. King simply takes it on a dribble and is down at the 48-yard line for a loss of 10. As Dave Waymo made the stop, it'll be 2nd and 20 back at the 48. Just keep it bouncing in front of you and you're all right.
Very lucky bounce that time. Came right back up into his hands.
This Cotton Bowl game was a sellout, but as you see when our camera swings by the stands, a great many people, thousands of them, elected to stay in the warmth of their living rooms and watch the Cotton Bowl game on television rather than come out and watch this game in conditions that have been less than ideal. That's Love carrying, and he gets to the 45-yard line before Jay Case makes the tackle. Gain of 3 to make it 3rd and 17. At game time, the wind chill factor was sub-zero. Temperature was around 17 degrees Fahrenheit, but there was about a 25-mile-an-hour wind blowing also. And as Bill Yeoman pointed out, it hasn't gotten any warmer during the course of the afternoon. Completed pass to the 25-yard line, taken there by Willis Adams, and it's a 1st and 10 at the 25. Randy Harrison made the tackle.
Adams, who caught a first-half touchdown pass from Danny Davis. Davis back, his 3rd completion of the afternoon. He really guns it. 20-yard pickup right over the middle. He's wide open in the Notre Dame zone. Randy Harrison on the stop.
So the Houston Cougars are leading 20-12. There's Willis Adams, 6'2", 189-pounder, fine pass receiver.
Average per catch is over 18 yards.
Davis has it, and he pumps it complete to Eric Herring. Herring's first catch of the day. Jay Case made the tackle. It's just outside the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about a yard to go, spotted inside the 16. The Houston Cougars leading and driving. They send Adams to the left side, Herring to the right side, Love's in the right set, King's in the left set for Danny Davis. That's King. Emmett King drives to the 13. It's a 1st and 10. Jay Case made the tackle for Notre Dame, along with Steve Heimkreider.
Completely in control.
Now here comes Hubert Miller in with the next play.
Davis starting to mix it up a little bit more, Lindsey, here in the second half, throwing the football a couple of times, completing both these attempts.
popped as he got across the 15 by Joe Gramke.
One thing DeVere does now, Danny Davis, as he handed off to Emmett King, you saw the Notre Dame defense collapse. And he might be just licking his chops because of that, Lindsey. Next time, he's just going to fake it to King, and they're going to get outside with some running room.
2nd and 10 at the 13-yard line. And they send Adams to the left side and Herring right. Now, Davis keeps. Davis is at the 5, and he is out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Great balance.
Jim Browner bounced him out.
There's a missed tackle back here, but it's the quick feet of Danny Davis. Here he is, fakes it inside. You see they tackled the handoff man. Now Davis does the rest on his own. He broke a tackle from Heim Kreider and Randy Harrison. Got it inside the 3.
First down and goal to go at the 2-yard line now for the Houston Cougars. 6 minutes, 44 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Herring's going wide to the left side. Davis, touchdown. Danny Davis accompanied himself. Bring it in for the touchdown for the Houston Cougars.
Well, they've got Notre Dame's defense just guessing now. You really better not guess against Severe, or you're going to really get hurt. This time he fakes it and ducks back inside the handoff spot easily for the score.
So it's now 26-12. Danny Davis there, the quarterback, and a good one. Conversion attempt is coming, and Hatfield is coming in to do the booting. Jay Wyatt will hold for him. Conversion attempt is good. And as they come back up the field, the score is Houston 27, Notre Dame 12, 6 minutes, 29 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Well, the cold is not bothering that particular section.
Call me Ray. That's the gentleman I think that performs in all the Dallas Cowboy games.
And the ball is teed up at the 40-yard line for Hatfield to kick it off. He's got Stone back there with Waymer to receive it for Notre Dame. Spiraled over to Waymer's side of the field. He's got it at the goal line 5. Waymer to the 10, turns it on to the 15, changes pace to the 20, and is stopped at the 22. So Notre Dame will get it 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. It was Barrett downfield for Houston to make the tackle. And Tim Cagle is coming out to run the attack. Joe Montana apparently has fallen victim to the elements in the first half. Reported during the halftime intermission by the team physician that he has chills, slight temperature, and so Montana has not come out, and Tim Cagle is running the attack 1st and 10 at the 22 for Notre Dame. And there's that Houston defense once again.
Got to start throwing the football, Lindsey, on 1st and 2nd down. This will not work.
In there to get to Vegas Ferguson, who's getting up a little slowly.
And if you don't think field position has helped Houston, they went 12 yards for a touchdown, 21 yards for a touchdown, 38 yards for a touchdown. They went 21 yards for a field goal and 39 yards for a field goal. So they started with field position inside the 40 every time they put points on the board.
Illegal motion against Notre Dame declined. 2nd and 13 at the 19-yard line. Tim Cagle. Incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and 13 at the 19-yard line. The incompletion stops the clock with 6:11 remaining in the 3rd quarter. There's Joe Montana now. Joe Montana warming up along the sidelines. Cagle. Going long to Mastack, and it is incomplete.
Yep, they threw it right into the coverage. Exactly what Houston wanted him to do. He was not only double covered, Lindsey, there were 4 red jerseys around Maston.
Montana continues to throw. 4th down has come up, and the punter has come on now. Bushka standing at his own 5-yard line. Dick Bushka. Lonnell Fee is dropped back to field it for Houston. Ten men on the line of scrimmage for the Houston Cougars.
Oh,
and they block it. Again. They block it. Houston has the ball. And it's near the 20-yard line, inside the 20.
Great rush by the Houston Cougars here. They had 10 men rushing the kicker. They know he's kicking against the wind. Bushka gets it blocked. Number 34 of Houston, Mr. Harrison, one of the linebackers. So once again, Houston starts just with great field position inside Notre Dame's 20. Bobby Harrison blocked it.
1st and 10 for the Cougars at the Notre Dame 19-yard line. Houston leading by a score of 27-12 and in good field position here once again in the 3rd quarter. Davis has the ball. Keeps it. 15, 10. Continues to drive to the 7-yard line. Pete Johnson brought him down. 1st down and goal to go. Houston at the Notre Dame 7.
Now last year they controlled the wishbone offense. Great running of Earl Campbell, but they just haven't been able to even come close to the veer. Davis picks up 12 yards here. Got about 200 yards rushing now.
Gilbert Miller, number 82, brought in the next play. That's Love. Hits inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal there. Jay Case made the tackle. Case is from Cincinnati, Ohio. He's a senior. Jeff Weston, a senior from Rochester, New York. Also there, plays just alongside him. Here comes Jurgaitis in with the next play. They alternate tight ends, bringing in plays from Coach Bill Yeoman. Herring's going wide to the left side. Jurgaitis is the tight end right. Officials called timeout. They want another ball.
Yeah, Chuck Brown, the center, wanted an exchange of footballs.
Might have found some ice on that one, so they get another one in play. Again, it's Herring far to the left side. 2nd down, goal to go. Houston at the Notre Dame 5-yard line. Davis has got it, and it's a touchdown. Davis took it in at the flag.
Yep, Houston's giving Notre Dame a lesson to the veer. Look at him, he's happy. Davis trying to go 9-0 in the Cotton Bowl as a quarterback. Beautiful fake inside. Now this is what I was talking about. When Notre Dame closes it up, the handoff, Davis is going to take it outside, and he goes in unmolested. That's his 2nd touchdown of the day. He's also thrown for 1 touchdown.
So it's 33-12 and a conversion attempt coming. Again, it's Hatfield. Hatfield's conversion is good. And so as they come back up the field this time, the score is Houston 34 and Notre Dame 12. The Cougars are running it up.
They sure have, and the trouble that Notre Dame has had is they haven't made a 1st down here in the 3rd quarter. Here's the look. Here's the fake to Randy Love inside. Now you see Case tackled him. That is not his problem. He must tackle the handoff man, but Danny Davis, somebody forgot to get him on the outside.
Keep in mind that the NBA is coming up on CBS. Sunday, January 14th, you'll see the New York Knicks against the Kansas City Kings.
And that'll be a great one. Marvin Webster, Bob McAdoo for the Knicks, Phil Ford, and Otis Birdsong for Kansas City.
Chicago Bulls against the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Los Angeles Lakers against the Seattle Supersonics.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Coach Lenny Wilkins of Seattle. They were off to a flying start.
They're regional games. Check your local listing for the game and time in your area. And keep in mind that on CBS, you'll also see the NBA All-Star Game from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan on February 4th. Kicking off is Hatfield. Waymer goes deep. Goes out of the end zone. It's a touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. So the Irish get it, but they get it deep in their own territory. Houston is leading by a score of 34-12. We have 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And Joe Montana comes in now at quarterback. Joe Montana making his first appearance of the second half. He quarterbacked throughout the entire first half, but during the intermission came up with chills and a slight fever, but he's back in there. Montana has the ball, guns it, and it is incomplete.
Almost pass interference there.
Chris Haynes.
And Chris Haynes is really hot.
Haynes is hot. He thinks there was pass interference.
Montana on his first play back. Little play action. Trying to hit Haynes on a turn-in. A little too close coverage that time by number 10, Gerald Cook. He got away with it.
Second down and 10 yards to go. Chris Haynes this time takes it and goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
That's his first catch of the day.
It is. We were talking to Bill Yeoman in New York recently when he and Danny Davis came to New York in connection with the announcement that CBS and the Cotton Bowl have signed an agreement for future years. And Bill was saying that at the start of the season, he thought he had a very fine defense, and that actually in only 3 or 4 occasions had his defense lived up to his expectations. I think they have today.
I don't think he has to worry about that today.
Third down and 3 yards to go. Montana drops back over the middle and incomplete. Trying to get it to Jerome Evans.
Just a bad pass, or maybe Evans ran a wrong pattern. As you see Montana there talking to Evans, he was wide open on the little delay over the middle. Once again, Notre Dame has faced a punt. They got a new punter in there. Bushka, who kicked 3 times here in the third quarter, had 1 block, 1 partially blocked for an average of 25 yards.
Linnell Fee is deep for Houston. Joe Restic, of course, is normally the punter. He was injured in the first half.
Bushka's there.
Across the 50, gets a Notre Dame roll inside the 40. There will be no run back, and it is at the 37-yard line. Now keep in mind that coming up on CBS is the NFC Championship. That's next Sunday, January 7th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Both these teams, they figured to be there, Lindsey. The Dallas Cowboys, Roger Staubach will be back next week. Danny White, he did such an excellent job this week right here in Dallas. And then the Rams, and they looked super the other day against the Minnesota Vikings. What a matchup.
Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire will be at the mic for the NFC Championship on CBS. First and 10 now for Houston at their 37. Danny Davis keeps the football. It gets away, but the whistle had blown. Joe Gramke was there on the tackle. It's going to be marked at the 39-yard line for a gain of 2, which will make it second down and 8 yards to go for the Cougars.
Is this balance rushing, Lindsey? Davis, the quarterback, 60 yards on 14 carries. Love, 68 yards on 14 carries. And King 61 yards on 15.
That's what they have, the balanced attack of the Houston Cougars. They're leading 34-12 over Notre Dame. Herring goes wide to the right side. Davis still has it. He's down at the 41-yard line. Mike Calhoun from Austintown, Ohio made the tackle. It'll be third down and 6 at the 41. Heimkreider was also there. Heimkreider had a great year for Notre Dame. He's a senior linebacker from Cincinnati, Ohio. Third and 6. Houston at the 41. 2.5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Herring out in the wide right. This is King. Emmett King to the 44-yard line. There's Gramke latched onto him there. A gain of 3 will make it 4th and 3. Pete Johnson also on the tackle, and the punting unit comes on.
The first time in the second half that Houston has had the ball in their own territory.
Jay Wyatt is coming to do the punting. You see Waymer dropping back for Notre Dame. Harrison is 10 yards upfield in tandem. High snap is pulled down. Waymer at the 13-yard line. Waymer to the 15. To the 20. Up the sideline. And out of bounds. going to be marked inside the 30-yard line. Chuck Brown forced him out. That was a punt of 44 yards. First down and 10 yards to go, Notre Dame, short of the Notre Dame 29. One minute, 41 seconds left in the third quarter as Joe Montana sprints onto the field to run the attack. Houlihan out in the wide left. Chris Haynes in the wide right. As Evans with one in room and across the 40 to the 45 and across the 50 and on into Houston territory. Jerome Evans at the 47-yard line is dropped by Kenny Hatfield.
This is the first down of the second half for Notre Dame, just right up the middle, trap blocking. Jerome Evans goes for 26. Got into secondary. And it got into Houston territory. Been a long time since that happened, maybe since the first quarter.
Evans now has gone off the field. Buchanan has replaced him at fullback. Montana rolls and keeps. Saw some daylight and wanted to go, but could not quite get through. He was pulled down after a gain of 2 by Theodis Williams. Second down and 8 yards to go for Notre Dame. We have less than a minute remaining in the third quarter, as you see Shasta. Evans has carried 14 times for 70 yards here this afternoon. Chris Haynes to the right side, Pete Houlihan to the left side. Short drop. Montana now going to Chris Haynes, and it is intercepted at the 12-yard line. It is Cook, I think.
That's the third interception today for Joe Montana. Elvis Bradley, a junior from Longview, Texas. You see Montana in a little trouble. He went to his right. End over end, right in the arms of Elvis Bradley, intended for Chris Haynes.
Well, it's spotted just outside the 11 on Bradley's interception, and it's 1st and 10 for Houston with 32 seconds remaining in the third quarter. There's Elvis Bradley. That's the only way to keep warm on an afternoon like this. Love at the 12-yard line. It'll be second down and 9. Heimkreider and Weston made the tackle. Clock is running. It's wound down to 14 seconds remaining to be played in the quarter. And now down to 8 seconds remaining to be played in this period as Hubert Miller brings in the next play. They will not get off another play. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's that. That's the end of the third quarter with the score, Houston 34, Notre Dame 12. We now pause for a word from your local station.